Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today I'm going to be pruning up my Wisteria bonsai once again. I think I pruned it 4 times this summer. I let the vines grow really long, prune it back, let them grow long again, and prune it back. And since the last pruning, they've grown really long once again, so let's have a look at the tree. Here is a look at the Wisteria. So you can see it's really full looking. The leaves are a nice dark green color. And the vines have grown all the way up here, and they're growing up the greenhouse all the way up to here. So plenty long enough to be pruned. There's some of the shoots down low, some of the lower branches that kind of got shaded out and haven't grown vines from them. So I'll be pruning the top back, trying to encourage my lower branches to grow. So I'm going to prune it where it is. I don't want to move it because, well, I guess I could, but there's no point. I'm going to prune off all these really long vines, and then I'll move it to the bench here to do the final pruning work. I'm ready to start the pruning, so I'm just going to snip off the vines quite long here, leaving them long, and they're all kind of tangled around each other, so it makes it easier to get off the bench this way. Pruning it all kind of back at once. And then hopefully I can untangle the vine from the greenhouse here. I think it's growing around Sam's root rake there. This one has to come around here, through here, and it's going around my lights. I might have to snip that off. There I go. And then this part of the vine here. So there's a look at all the long vines I pruned back. So now I can move the Wisteria to the bench. Okay, I'll move my lemon cypress out of the way, which is filling in quite nicely since the last pruning. It's doing really well. I'll move that over here. And now comes the Wisteria. And I have a tray of water underneath it, so I have to be careful not to knock anything over. It's catching on the root rake. I should have moved that first. Oh, there we go. Okay, onto the bench it goes. And I'll move the lemon cypress back. Here is a look at the Wisteria. So the trunk has certainly thickened up this year. There's the size of it compared to my finger. You can see it's twice the width of my finger now. Developing really well. It's getting quite woody. It's getting more branching on it. So let's start the pruning now. I'll start the pruning up top, and I'll be using directional pruning. So wherever there's a leaf facing the direction I want the new branch to grow in, I'll prune just ahead of that, or just above that. So this is my central trunk line. So I've got kind of an outward facing leaf here and one going back. So I'll take it off to here for starters. I may take it back further. There's one branch fanning out here. I've got some good leaves down lower, so I'll take that one off here. Taking that off. I've got a long lower branch here. This whole leaf is from one of these lower branches, so I want to take that back fairly hard. I'll take it back to here. There's some upward facing leaves. Taking that off. And then there's another lower branch growing way up here. That's the tallest one here, which grows way up. And I'll also prune that off fairly short. I'll prune it off to here, and I may shorten it more later on. So there's that whole vine. It's really long. I think it was going behind the backdrop here. Wow. Yeah. So there's that vine. It's really big. Just cut it in half. Okay, now I've got another long one here. I've got some good outward facing leaves down low, so I'll prune it off to here. Taking that off. I'm starting to be able to see the structure of the tree now. This one, I've got a good outward facing leaf here and here, so I'll take it off just above there. And what else do I have? I have one here. I've got a good outward facing leaf here, so I'll take it off just above there. I think that's got all the major vines pruned back. So next I want to do some defoliation. You can see all these leaves are not letting light get to these bottom branches much. So I could defoliate it totally. It would certainly take it. It wouldn't be too hard on it. I think I'll do that. I think we'll go for total defoliation. Okay, so here I go. I'll just leave a bit of the leaf petiole on. That way I can see where the leaves were quite easily. I don't think I've ever totally defoliated the wisteria before. I've done partial defoliation, and it's always come back really strongly. Now it is getting very late in the season, but it hasn't really slowed down in growth at all. It's in the greenhouse here. I keep it warm at night and it gets good sunlight. And yeah, it's still growing strongly. I expect once the temperatures get a little cooler and I don't have the greenhouse quite as warm, the growth will slow down on it. But so far, it hasn't slowed down at all. And we've been getting really nice warm weather lately. Now the only one I'm not going to defoliate is this one lower branch which never generated a new vine coming off of it. All the others did, but not that one. So I'll leave it with some leaves on to keep it a little stronger, and maybe it'll develop a new vine coming out of it. If not, I'm not sure if I even want to keep the lower branches. They grew there, so it's, they're there if I want to develop lower branches. It wasn't my intended style. I wanted to. There's a scale insect on it here. Right there. I am going to have to spray the tree. Yeah, it wasn't my intention to have lower branches, but they grew there, and I think it might make it look more tree-like and less vine-like. That's my hope anyway. Okay. I think my defoliation is now complete. So I'm just going to check, I'm just going to examine all the branches and make sure there's no more scale blisters on it anywhere that I see. I only saw the one, but I am checking. Where there's one, there's usually others. I'll clean off a stump here. Ooh, that's pretty tough. There. Oh, there's a couple more here, so I'll get rid of those. Spider in there. Bunch of old leaf petioles hanging down here that I'll clean out. No, I think that's it for scale insects. 3 blisters on the lower branches. Okay, so next I'm going to spray the tree with soap and water. So I will take the tree out of the tray of water, just so when I rinse it, the soapy water doesn't go in the tray. And these wisteria like growing with a tray of water underneath them. Keeps them hydrated and growing really strongly. Here is what I've pruned off the wisteria today. A lot of vines, plus all the long ones I already took away. Yeah, it sure grew well. I dumped my water out of the tray and I'm going to clean it out and put some fresh water and fertilizer in it. Might as well clean it up. Okay, here I go spraying it with soap and water. So I'll take a deep breath, spray, and then I'll leave the greenhouse and wait for the air to clear. I don't want to be breathing in that soapy water in the air. It's not good for your lungs. Okay, so here I go. Big breath. Okay, I've let the tree sit for a few minutes, so now I'll rinse it off and give it a good watering at the same time. I don't think I marked the front of this tree, and I'll do that today. I think it was somewhere here. Okay, that should be good. I'm looking for the front of the tree now. So I've got these 3 branches up top, and I don't want the front to be flat onto them. This one's a little thicker than the apex, so I probably want that forward a bit. Maybe somewhere here I think is a good front. I'm just going to mark it and then see if there's any other possibilities. So I put a loop of wire in the front there. This is pretty good here. The top comes forward a little more. It kind of comes forward. So this is probably a better front. Somewhere here. Yeah, I think I'll make that the front, at least for now. So there, I've got it marked. Now I need to do some more pruning. You can see some of these shoots are still too long. So I kind of want to encourage the center leader to thicken up a bit. So I'll leave that a little long, which I've kind of done. I'll take this branch off to here. I've got an outward facing leaf here and one back here. This one's getting too long. I've got a good leaf here and here, so I can take it off here. This one, got a leaf here, here, one here. This leaf has already generated this vine, so I can't prune it back to this leaf again, or nothing will grow in that area. So I think I better leave that as it is. The one here, I think I already pruned that, didn't I? Yes, I did. The lower branches, they're getting quite tall and vertical. I've got a good outward facing leaf here, one down lower, so I'll take it off here. This one, I've got a good leaf here, there's one down here. I better take it off a little shorter to there. I've got a stub I can clean up here. I've got a stub up here, one here, and that might be about it. I could prune this leader down a little shorter just to kind of equalize the balance, but again I kind of want it to grow a little stronger than the other two branches, so I'll leave it as it is. So that's a look at the tree. It's all pruned up and ready to grow once again. I've root pruned and repotted this tree 3 years in a row, doing quite a severe root pruning, and the tree just recovers and bounces back and grows even stronger. So I'll continue to do that, repotting it, bare rooting it each year, giving it a really good root pruning, and you can see it's starting to get some nice flare at the base down here because the roots are growing in a nice radial pattern. I'm sure they've grown down and filled the container now, but yeah, I think it's looking quite good. There is a stub here that didn't grow, and another one here. I'll take these off. I might need my bigger pruners for those. Right here. Yeah, I'll take those back. They're just not growing. At least this one, it's looking kind of dead. And the other one, still got some color, but I think I'll take it off. It's not the best location anyway. And I have a stub here I could clean up. Just take that stub back a bit. Like that. I've got a stub up here that didn't grow. I'll take it back. I've got a stub here that I can take back, I think. There. Hard to get in there. And I've got another stub here I can clean up. Just take back a bit. Okay. I don't think I need to seal the cuts, but I could. I better. I'll just put some rubber cement on those cuts. At least the ones that are back to some green growth. The other ones are kind of just pruning back the dead wood further back. So I don't really need to seal those too much. But okay, that's it. That is the work on the wisteria once again. Talk about, clip and grow. It just grows and I clip it. It grows again and I clip it. It grows again and I just keep pruning it. But it is getting better. It's definitely thickening up. It's looking more tree-like and less vine-like. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the progress of this wisteria. Oh, I have another stub here I could clean up. I just noticed it. There. Okay, so yeah, there's the front of the tree, the right hand side, the back, the left hand side, and back to the front. So you can see there's some good bark developing on the tree. It's starting to kind of split at the bottom and get a little more texture to the bark. Yeah, it still has a long way to go, this vine. Someday it'll probably flower. That'll be exciting. I'll put some fresh water in my tray. And then I'll put the tree back on the bench. So I'll move the tray first. And then I'll move the tree. I've got the wisteria back on the bench now. It sure takes up less room now that it's pruned up. My wisteria is all pruned up once again. In the next video, I'll show you some updates to some of my show trees. A lot of them I defoliated and the leaves are starting to grow in now, so I'll give you some updates in the next video. But that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.